Hello students, welcome back to the class. I hope you all are doing well. So in the previous video I have told you that the entire exercise 12.2 I have divided that exercise into two parts, into two videos. The first video I have uploaded today only, and this is the second video in which I will be completing the whole exercise. Means the important sums I will be doing in this video only, and in this video we will start doing from question number 15. Okay, so question number 15 I am first doing. Let's read question number 15. Question number 15 is: an employee works in a company on a contract of 30 days on the condition that he will receive rupees 200 for each day he works, and he will be fined for rupees 20 for each day he is absent. Now if he receives rupees 3800 in all, then for how many days he remained absent? So you can see, students, I have assumed here that let the employee remained absent for X days, and the employee worked, total contract was for 30 days and he was absent for X days. So how many days he was present for? He was present for 30 minus X days. Okay, now he was paid, he got rupees 200 each day for being present. So he was present for 30 minus X day. So total he got how much money? 30 minus X into 200, that much money he got for being present for 30 minus X days. And he got fined for rupees 20 for each day. So he was absent for X days. That's why total fine was rupees 20 into X. So definitely we will subtract the fine 20 minus X from the amount which he is getting for being present for 30 minus X day. So according to the question, you can see 30 minus X into 200 minus 20 into X, that is equals to the total money he is getting in all. He is getting total 3800 rupees in all. So from this equation now we will find out the value of X. So you can see 200 into 36,000 minus 200x minus 20x equals to 3800. Now 200x minus 28x equals to 220x minus 220x equals to 3800, and this 6000 will go to the right hand side, so it will be minus 6000. So we are getting minus 220x equals to minus 2200. So the value of x will be 10. Okay, so that means we have assumed x is the number of days he was absent for. So he was absent for 10 days. Okay, so this is the required answer. I hope it's clear. Next, go to question number 16, and I'm reading question number 16. Question number 16 is: I have a total of rupees 300 in coins of denomination rupees 1, rupees 2 and rupees 5. So I have total rupees 300 coins, means total rupees 300. Okay, and that rupees 300 is in the denomination of rupees 1 coin, rupees 2 coin and rupees 5 coin. And one condition is given, see that the number of rupees 2 coins is 3 times the number of rupees 5 coins, and total number of coins, how many coins are there in total? 160 coins. So how many coins of each denomination are with me? So see students, here I have assumed let the number of rupees 5 coins be X. So in the question it is given that the number of rupees 2 coins will be 3 times of rupees 5 coins, that means 3 into X. So total, if there is 160 coins, then definitely the number of rupees 1 coins will be 160. Total number of coins minus number of coins of rupees, number of rupees 2 coins minus number of rupees 5 coins. That means 160 minus 3x minus x, that is 160 minus 4x. So definitely in total 160 minus 4x 1 rupee coin, there will be 160 minus 4x into 1 rupee. Okay, how many rupees 2 coins are there? 3x rupees 2 coins are there. So in 3x rupees 2 coins, how much amount is there? 3x into 2 rupees, 3x into 2, that much amount is there. Okay, and in x rupees 5 coins, how much amount is there? X into 5 rupees, x into 5 is there. Okay, in total x coins of rupees 5, and in total 3x coins of rupees 2, there is total 3x into 2 rupees. Okay, so this total amount the amount which is in rupees 1 coin, the amount which is in rupees 2 coin plus the amount which is in rupees 5 coin, that total amount is given 300 rupees 300. So this is according to the question. We have made one equation. So from this equation now we will find out the value of x. So definitely 1 into 160 minus 4x will be 160 minus 4x plus 3x into 2 6x plus 5 into x 5x equals to 300. So from this I have got 7x equals to 300 minus 160, that is 140. So x will be 140 divided by 7, that is 20. So x, what is the value of x actually? What we have assumed for x, that x is actually the number of rupees 5 coins. So there are total 20 rupees 5 coins, okay? And how many rupees 2 coins will be there? 3 into x, that means 3 into 20, 60. And what will be the number of rupees 1 coins? 160 minus 4x, that means 160 minus 4 into 20. 420, 80. 4 into 20 will be 80. So 160 minus 80, 80 will be the number of rupees 1 coins. So here I have shown you the number of rupees 5 coins 20, the number of rupees 2 coins 20 into 360, and the number of rupees 1 coin 80. So 80 rupees 1 coins are there, 60 rupees 2 coins are there, and 20 rupees 5 coins are there. Hope it's clear. Okay, so next let's move to the next one. Next question, question number 17. I'm reading the question. Question number 17 is, a local bus is carrying 40 passengers, some with rupees 5 tickets and the remaining with rupees 7.50 tickets. If the total receipts from this passenger is rupees 230, then find the number of passengers with rupees 5 tickets. So students, usually what will you do? You will just assume what is asked in the question. Since in question number 17 it is asked what number of passengers are there with rupees 5 tickets, that's why I have assumed here, let the number of passengers with rupees 5 tickets be x. That means let x passengers are carrying rupees 5 tickets, okay? So you know students, it is given in the question that there are total 40 passengers. So definitely the number of passengers who are carrying rupees 7.50 tickets will be total number of passengers minus x, that is 40 minus x, okay? Now x passengers are carrying rupees 5 tickets. So what amount is there in total? What amount they are getting from x passengers who are carrying rupees 5 tickets? Definitely x into 5 rupees, because each ticket is having rupees 5. So x ticket will have x into 5 rupees. So see, x into 5, this is the amount which they are getting from x passengers. And 40 minus x passengers are carrying rupees 7.50 tickets. So each ticket is having 7.50 rupees. Therefore 40 minus x ticket will have 7.50 into 40 minus x. So this is the amount that they are getting from 40 minus x passengers, okay? 40 minus x into 7.50. So this is the amount from x passengers, and this is the amount from 40 minus x passengers. So total amount they are getting 230. So according to the question, this total amount is 230. So from this equation I have solved the equation 5x, 5 into x 5x, 7.50 into 40 300 minus 7.50x equals to 230. So from this 5x minus 7.50 plus 5x, we have minus 2.50x. And here 300 will go to the right hand side, so it will be 230 minus 300, that is minus 70. So we will have x equals to minus 70 divided by minus 2.50. And I have done here the cancellation, so I got the result 28. So what is the value of x we have assumed for? X means the number of passengers who are carrying rupees 5 tickets. So that means the number of passengers carrying rupees 5 tickets is 28. 28 passengers are carrying rupees 5 tickets. Okay, is it clear? I hope it's clear. So next, move on to the next question. Question number 18. Okay, question number 17, 16, 15, 17. All 16, 15, 17 and 18 all are very important. 19 also very important. Okay, that's why I have done this all questions. So let's read the question. Question number 18. On a school picnic, a group of students agree to pay equally for the use of a full boat and they will pay rupees 10 for each. If there had been 3 more students in the group, then each would have paid rupees 2 less. How many students were there in the group? So see, you can see here it is asked how many students were there. So that's why I have assumed that let x students were there in the group. Okay, so then they are paying, if x students were there, then they would pay rupees 10 each. So what total amount they were paying? For x students, total amount will be 10 into x, because each is paying, means each was paying rupees 10. So x students were paying rupees 10 into x. Okay, so this is the first condition. Now next condition is given, if there had been 3 more students, then what would be the number of students? X plus 3 students. Definitely the previous number of students is x, so if there had been 3 more students, then the total number of students were x plus 3 students. Okay, and then they had to pay 2 rupees less. They were paying rupees 10, but if there had been 3 more students, then they had to pay rupees 8. Why 8? Because they had to pay 2 rupees less than rupees 10. So 10 minus 2, rupees 8. Okay, so that then x plus 3 students paid total. If in this case one student is paying rupees 8, then x plus 3 student will pay 8 into x plus 3 rupees. So x plus 3 into 8 rupees. Okay, this is the amounts in second case. So you can see, students, in both cases the students are paying such amount by which they can hire a full boat. So definitely these two amounts must be same, otherwise they cannot hire a full boat. Okay, so this amount 10x and this amount x plus 3 into 8 must be same. So according to the question, I have written x plus 3 into 8 equals to 10x. So now we will multiply x into 8x plus 8 into 3 24 equals to 10x. So we have 10x minus 8x equals to 24. So x equals to 24 divided by 2, that is 12. So what we have assumed for x, that x is the number of students who were present or who were there in the group. So there were total 12 students in the group in the first case, in the previous case. Okay, so this is the final answer. I hope you understood this one. And students, if you are finding any confusion, any difficulty, then you can just call me, or in the next online class you will clear all your doubts from this exercise. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, question number 19, which is, I'm reading question number 19. Question number 19 is, half of a herd of deer are grazing in the field and 3/4 of the remaining are playing nearby. The rest 9 are drinking water from the pond. So find the number of deer in the herd. So what is asked in the question, students? The number of deer in the herd. So that's why I have assumed let the number of deer in the herd be x. Okay, so one condition is given, that half of the herd of the deer are grazing in the field. Half of the total number of deer. Half means x into 1 by 2. Half means 1 by 2. So x into 1 by 2, half of the total number of deer, that means x into 1 by 2 or x by 2. So the number of deer which are grazing in the field equals to x by 2. So definitely if x by 2 deer are grazing in the field and total there are x deer, then what is the remaining deer? Remaining number of deer, x minus total number of deer minus the number of deer who are grazing. So x minus x by 2, that will be definitely again x by 2. Okay, now this is the remaining number of deer. Now another condition is given, that what is the another condition? See, 3/4 of the remaining deer are playing nearby. 3/4 of the remaining deer, this is the remaining deer, and 3/4 of it means into 3 by 4. So the number of deer who are playing nearby equals to x by 2 into 3 by 4, 3/4. So we are getting 3 into x, 3x, by 4 into 2, 8. So 3x by 8 is the number of deer who are playing nearby. So students, you can see remaining number of deer were x by 2. After that we found that 3x by 8 deer are playing in nearby. So what is the remaining number of deer now? x by 2 minus 3x by 8. X by 2 minus 3x by 8. So this is the last remaining number of deer. And see what is last asked in the said, means given in the question, that remaining 9 deer are drinking water. Remaining 9 deer. So we have found that this is the remaining number of deer, x by 2 minus 3x by 8. And in the question it is given that there are 9 deer remaining. So according to the question, x by 2 minus 3x by 8 equals to 9. Okay, so you can see next I have made one equation. According to the question, x by 2 minus 3x by 8 equals to 9. Now solve this equation. LCM is 8. So 8 divided by 2, 4. 4 into x, 4x minus 3x equals to 9. So 4x minus 3x, x equals to 9 into 8, 72. So there are total 72 deer in the herd. Hope this is clear. Okay, this sum is a little bit difficult for you. Okay, but if you practice a lot, then it will be all easy. Okay, so just keep practicing all these sums. Okay, now next I will be doing question number 22. After question number 19, next important question is question number 22. Okay, so I am reading the question. This question you have done in class 6 also. Okay, in class 6 I have taught you this process. See, if the angles of a triangle are in the ratio 5:6:7, find the angles. So one ratio is given between the angles of a triangle 5:6:7. So I have assumed that let the angles be 5x, 6x and 7x degree. Okay, and one condition we know that the sum of the angles of a triangle is always 180 degree. So from that condition I am writing here according to the question. Since they are the angles of a triangle, you can write here the condition that since the sum of the angles of a triangle is always 180 degree, that's why 5x plus 6x plus 7x equals to 180. From that equation I have got x equals to 10. So this is not the final answer. We have got the value of x. Now we have to multiply x with 5, 6 and 7 to get the angles. So the angles are 5 into 10 equals to 50, 6 into 10 equals to 60 and 7 into 10 equals to 70. So these are the angles. Okay. So this one is very easy. Next I am showing you question number 25. Question number 25 I am reading, which is a bigger one, lengthy one. Question number 25 is, the length of a rectangle is 5 cm less than twice its breadth. And if the length is decreased by 3 cm and breadth is increased by 2 cm, the perimeter of the resulting rectangle is 72 cm. So find the area of the original rectangle. See students, this one is a little bit bigger and also complicated. What is given? It is first given that the length of the rectangle is 5 cm less than twice of its breadth. So first I have assumed that let the breadth of the rectangle be x centimeter. So length will be 5 cm less than twice of the breadth. Twice of the breadth is 2 into x, because the breadth is x centimeter, so twice of the breadth will be 2 into x, and 5 centimeter less than twice means 2x minus 5 centimeter. Okay, that is the length of the rectangle. Now we know the length, we know the breadth, then what will be the perimeter? 2 into length plus breadth. You can also write here the formula 2 into length plus breadth. I have told you whenever you are doing the sums on perimeter, mensuration, you have to write the formulas. Okay, so 2 into length plus breadth equals to 2 into length is 2x minus 5 and this is breadth x. So this is the perimeter of the original perimeter of the rectangle. Now one condition is given in the question that if the length is decreased by 3 cm. If the length is decreased by 3 cm, then what would be the length? The length would be this one minus 3. So 2x minus 5 minus 3 cm. Decreased means subtraction. So that is minus 5 minus 3 will be minus 8. 2x minus 8 cm. And if the breadth is increased by 2 cm. So if we increase the breadth by 2 cm, this is the previous breadth. So increase means addition. So x plus 2 will be the next breadth. Okay, so it would be x plus 2 centimeter. And then what will be the perimeter? Then the perimeter will be 2 into length plus breadth, the same formula. So this is 2 into length, this one 2x minus 8 plus breadth x plus 2. So this is the next perimeter. This is the original perimeter, this is the next perimeter. Now see students, what is given in the question, that if we decrease the length by 3 centimeter and breadth by 2 centimeter, and if we increase the breadth by 2 centimeter, then the resultant perimeter will be 72 centimeter. So this is the resultant perimeter, and according to the question it is 72 centimeter. Okay, so according to the question this one equals to 72. From there I have just solved this equation, x plus 2 plus 2x minus 8. So x plus 2x 3x and minus 8 plus 2 minus 6, and this 2 will go to the right hand side, so it will be divided. 72 divided by 2, 36. Now we will take this minus 6 to the right hand side, so it will be added plus 6, so it's 42. Now 3x equals to 42, so x will be 42 divided by 3, that is 14. So what is the actual value of x? X means, we have assumed, you can see students, x means the breadth, previous or original breadth. So the original breadth is 14 centimeter. Okay, now what will be the original length? Original length will be 2x minus 5 centimeter, means 2 into 14. X means 14, so 2 into 14, 2x means 2 into 14 minus 5 centimeter, that is 23 centimeter. So the original length is 23 centimeter, breadth is 14 centimeter. Then what will be the original area of the rectangle? Length into breadth. 23 into 14, that is 322 centimeter square. Don't forget to write the unit, and it is centimeter square. So 322 centimeter square is the required answer. Okay, hope it's clear. Okay. Next, I am showing you question number 27. Question number 27 is something which you are learning for the first time. See here, I am just first reading the question, then I will explain you. The question is, a steamer travels 90 km downstream in the same time as it takes to travel 60 km upstream. If the speed of the stream is 5 km per hour, find the speed of the steamer in still water. So what is the meaning of downstream and upstream? Downstream means when a boat or a ship, suppose it sails in the towards the flow, means with the flow of the stream, then it is called downstream. And when the boat or a ship flows, or suppose a steamer flows against the flow of the river, then it is called upstream. Again repeating, I am repeating the same thing again, that when a steamer or a boat or a ship sails in the flow, means towards or with the flow of the river or with the flow of the sea, then it is called with the, towards the, in the same direction, sails in the same direction of the stream, then it is called downstream. And when it sails against the flow of the stream or of the river, then it is called upstream. Okay, so downstream means towards or in the same direction, not towards, actually it's same direction, not towards. And upstream means in the opposite direction or against, and downstream means in the same direction. Okay, so suppose in still water, when the speed of the still water is given, and when the speed of the still water is given and the speed of the stream is given, then how can you find out the speed of the steamer upstream and the speed of the steamer downstream? See students, here we have to find out the speed of the steamer in still water. So that's why I have assumed, let the speed of the steamer in still water is x km per hour. Okay, so we have assumed, means I have assumed the speed of the steamer in still water be x km per hour. Now I have told you that when the speed of the stream is 5 km per hour, this is the speed of the stream and this is the speed of the steamer. Okay, again repeating, this is the speed of the stream and this is the speed of the steamer in still water. Okay, when there is no flow. Still water means when there is no flow. So, if the speed of the steamer in still water is given and if the speed of the stream is given, then we can find out both the speed of the steamer downstream and we can find out the speed of the steamer upstream also. So what will be the speed of the steamer downstream? Downstream means I have told you in the same direction of the steam. So of the stream. So here the still water, in still water the speed of the steamer is x kilometer per hour and the speed of the steamer and the speed of the stream is 5 kilometer. So the speed of the steamer downstream will be x plus 5 kilometer. That is a formula you have to remember. What is the formula? Downstream. The speed of the steamer downstream equals to the speed of the steamer in still water plus the speed of the stream. Okay, and the speed of the steamer upstream equals to the speed of the steamers in still water minus the speed of the stream. That is a formula. We have to add the speed of the stream with the speed of the steamer in still water when we are finding out the speed of the steamer in downstream, and we have to subtract the speed of the stream from the speed of the steamer in still water when we are finding out the speed of the steamer in upstream. Okay, that is a rule. You have to remember this always. Now see students, I have assumed here let the speed of the steamer be x kilometer per hour. So from that I got downstream its speed is x plus 5 kilometer per hour and upstream its speed is x minus 5 kilometer per hour. Now conditions are given. What conditions? First one is, if the steamer travels 90 km downstream, it is given that the steamer travels 90 km downstream and 60 km upstream. Again repeating, the condition which is given, that is the steamer travels 90 km downstream and 60 km upstream in a same time. Okay, so when distance 90 km distance is given and downstream the speed is given, downstream distance is given, downstream speed is given, you know how to find out the time taken. You know the formula distance by speed. So 90 divided by x plus 5, distance by speed, hour. This is the time taken for traveling 90 km downstream at a speed of x plus 5 km per hour. Now the steamer travels 60 km upstream at a speed of x minus 5 km per hour. Then what time it has taken to travel 60 km? Times formula distance by speed, 60 divided by x minus 5 hour. Now in the question it is given that this time and this time are equal. The time taken to travel 90 km downstream and 60 km upstream, these two times are equal. So according to the question, 60 divided by x minus 5 equals to 90 divided by x plus 5. Now what I have done, cross multiplication, 60 into x plus 5 and equals to 90 into x minus 5. So now I have solved this equation. 60 into x 60x plus 60 into 5 300, 90 into x 90x minus 90 into 5 450. Now 90x minus 60x equals to 300 plus 450. So x we are getting 25. So what is x? X is the speed of the steamer in still water. So the speed of the steamer in still water is 25 km per hour. Okay, so hope this is clear. This one is very important and this one is a little bit different as you are learning this upstream and downstream for the first time. So just revise this one, this sum means more than one time. Okay. Now last I will show you question number 29. This one. Question number 29. Okay students, question number 29 I am reading. Distance between two places A and B is 350 km. two cars start simultaneously from A and B towards each other, and the distance between them after 4 hours is 62 km. If speed of one car is 8 km per hour less than the speed of the other car, find the speed of each car. So you can see, students, I have first assumed that let the speed of one car be x km per hour. And what is the given condition? That the speed of the other car is 8 km per hour less than the one car. So this is the speed of first car or one car. Then the speed of the other car will be x minus 8 less than. So x minus 8 km per hour. Now the first car travels in 4 hours. You all know, when we know the speed, this is the speed, and when we know the time, 4 hours, time we know and speed we know, then what is the formula to find out the distance? Distance equals to speed into time. Okay, so distance we are finding out, the first car travels in 4 hours, the distance we are finding out, so distance equals to speed into time. Speed is x and time is 4 hours. So x into 4, and the unit will be kilometer since it is distance. So x into 4 kilometer. And the other car travels in 4 hours. This is the speed of the other car. So speed into time, x minus 8 into 4 kilometer. So this much distance the first car has travelled x into 4 kilometer, and the second car has travelled x minus 8 into 4 kilometer. Now I am showing you one diagram. This is point A and this is point B. This is the first bus and this is the second bus car. So these two cars have started traveling towards each other. So they have traveled, both have traveled 4 hours. This one also 4 hours, this one also 4 hours. And after traveling, the first car has traveled 4x kilometer, and the second car has traveled x minus 8 into 4 kilometer. And after traveling for 4 hours, they are 62 kilometer apart from each other. So this distance is 62 kilometer, because it is given that they are 62 kilometer apart from each other. So this distance is 4x kilometer. This one is x minus 8 into 4 kilometer. And after traveling for 4 hours, they can see that 62 kilometer is still remaining between them. So you can see, students, this 4x kilometer, 62 kilometer and x minus 8 into 4 kilometer, if we add them all, means this one plus this one plus this one, then we will get the total distance between A and B, isn't it? If we add these three distances, then we will get the total distance between the point A and B. So that means the total distance is given in the question. 350 kilometer is the total distance between A and B. So according to the question, this 4x kilometer, x into 4 or 4x plus this one x minus 8 into 4 kilometer, x minus 8 into 4 kilometer plus this 62 kilometer equals to 350. Okay, now solve the equation. 4 into x 4x plus 4 into x 4x minus 4 8s are 32 plus 62 equals to 350. Now 4x plus 4x 8x, and here it will be plus 30, and when it will go to the right hand side it will be minus 30. So it's 320. So x equals to 320 divided by 8, that is 40. So we have assumed that let the speed of one car be x. So the speed of one car be x means 40 kilometer, and the other one will be and the speed of the other car will be x minus 8 kilometer, means 40 minus 8 kilometer, that is 32 kilometer. Okay, so this is the required answer. I hope it's clear. So students, again I am repeating, this exercise is a little bit difficult, as you have to make the equation by yourself. You have to think a lot before making the equations. So that's why I revise this exercise again and again. Okay, and if you have any doubt, any confusion, then ask me or clear your doubts in the next online classes. Okay, so till the next class, take care, revise the exercise very well, and bye.